There are many myths and misunderstandings in the franchise industry. Today, I'm going to uncover and explain a few of the more common ones. Whether you're buying a franchise tomorrow or are just starting your research today, it is important that you know what is real, what is rumor, and what is opinion. Myth number one: I'll only be successful if I find the right business. Most of us define right as what we're already good at, but don't limit yourself. Define your transferable skills from the corporate world, such as delegation, management, marketing, etc. If you had those skills in one type of business, you can easily use them in another. Don't assume that just because you're good at what you do now, that you would be a good franchise owner in that industry. For example, there is little correlation between being able to fix a transmission and being able to run a transmission franchise. Myth number two: I can only be successful doing something I love. Your franchise business is a vehicle to the lifestyle you're seeking. If you limit your choices to what you're familiar with or good at, you're placing yourself at a major disadvantage by ignoring a huge number of possibilities that are outside your realm of past business experience. When researching a franchise, make sure to write down what kind of business model you want to operate and discuss that information with a franchise professional. Myth number three: I'll instantly know the right opportunity when I see it. Many people want to fall in love with their business at first sight. That's an emotional decision, not a career choice. You have to take the time to learn about the details and nuances of an opportunity to understand its potential. You simply can't do that when you make a determination based only on what you feel today. If you love trees, does that mean you would be great at owning a tree trimming franchise? Of course not. Now, that doesn't mean you couldn't be successful in a tree trimming franchise, but don't limit yourself to only what you love. Myth number four: I can't be in a business that I don't know anything about. Of course you can. It's natural to want to stay in your comfort zone and stick to areas you have experience in, but as a franchise owner, your job is running and growing your business no matter what it is. Remember, you have transferable skills. That's your strength. You can hire people who know the details. Your road to success is buying into and learning the franchise system, which is already a proven model, and then using your talents to make it grow. Myth number five: there is no freedom in a franchise because corporate dictates everything. This is one of the most common myths about franchise ownership. In actuality, there's tons of room for individuality. The franchisor dictates only one thing: the basic system, the framework. That's because it has already been proven as a success. Beyond that, you're in charge. You manage your business. You decide who to hire, who to fire, how to market your location, how to promote it regionally. Keep in mind that the franchisor wants you to succeed because if you don't, they don't. It is a win-win situation. Myth number six: franchises stifle creativity. Again, this is generally untrue. The only limitations you have are those that have already been proven to generate income. This might include signage, uniforms, formulas, protocol, and so on. Basically, the information that allows you to represent the brand in your own location as professionally as possible. But it's completely up to you to think up new ideas and make suggestions to corporate. In fact, most franchise parent companies encourage suggestions because that is where they get many of their best ideas. McDonald's corporate, for example, didn't come up with the inspiration to start selling breakfast. The concept of the Egg McMuffin was actually developed by a franchisee. Myth number seven: I can't afford a franchise. Sure you can, if you look at it for what it is, an investment in your future. Most franchises can be established for under $100,000, and some can be started for as little as $10,000 to $20,000 cash. Your only payments to the parent company are a one-time franchise fee and a weekly or monthly royalty, which are disclosed prior to buying the franchise. These royalties are usually offset by increased revenues and faster ramp-up times due to the business being part of a system. Beyond that, your out-of-pocket expenses are exactly the same as they would be for any independent business. Salaries, local advertising, inventory, fixed expenses such as rent, utilities. The difference is you have the support and training of the franchisor, which help you ramp up to full speed far more quickly than you could on your own. But the basic expenses are all the same. The only difference is the upfront franchise fee and the ongoing royalty. Myth number 8: franchises are always successful. Can franchises still fail? Sure they can, but the vast majority of the time this is due to the owner deviating from the system and cutting corners by using inferior materials or altering the formula. The key to making it as a franchisee is consistency. If you don't adhere to the groundwork, which once again is in place because it works, your chances of success will drop dramatically. You want to leave the habits from the corporate world where they are and bring along your marketable and transferable skills. All told, there are more than 900,000 franchised businesses in the country, which account for over 11 million jobs nationwide. They produce $2.31 trillion yes, trillion with a T, in total economic output and represent over 660 billion in private sector salaries. Those figures are tough to argue with, but that doesn't mean that there aren't failures. Regardless of the franchise, if you don't follow the system, your chance of success would be the same as if you had just opened the business independently and tried to do things on your own, which is around 20% success rate for an independent business. Myth number 9. Earnings claims. There are two main things that everyone wants to know right up front when researching a franchise. How much does it cost and how much can I make? The first one is easy. How much does it cost? The franchisor is required to disclose to you in writing how much the franchise cost is on average. This generally is done via the franchise disclosure documents, or what's often referred to as the FDD. Usually you will get these documents after you complete a franchise application. The second part, how much can I make, is a bit tougher and is usually a hang-up point for many buyers. This is natural. Rest assured, you will be able to gather plenty of data throughout the process. On the downside, many times a franchisor won't make an earnings claim because they don't want to be held liable if you don't make that much money. Makes sense, right? It actually goes beyond that. Franchising is regulated by the FTC, and the FTC says that a franchisor is not allowed to make a verbal earnings claim outside of what is published in their written franchise disclosure documents. Since it is very difficult to audit individual franchise owners' P&Ls, it is generally hard to publish actual profit numbers on a yearly basis in the FDD. That being said, the best place to get the real numbers is from existing franchisees themselves. But don't jump the gun on this. There are a few reasons you don't want to rush into your local franchise store and tell them you're opening a franchise nearby. For one, franchisees become very territorial. And two, the franchisor wants you to truly understand the business model before you bother their owners. Obviously, you don't want to run right out and start calling everybody in your neighborhood. So be patient. You will get the information you need, but it does take a bit of time and effort. Myth number 10. The higher the price, the more you make. In most cases, the cost of the franchise has nothing to do with the amount of money you make. The price of admission is usually based on various factors such as real estate, inventory, working capital, equipment, employees, etc. A business that has no inventory can make just as much as a business that has $200,000 in inventory. The difference being that the first business would usually cost a lot less. If you don't have to buy $200,000 in inventory, your loan amounts would be less. Your out-of-pocket cash would be less. But that doesn't mean you're going to make more or make any less just because you have $200,000 in inventory. Just because you have to buy $50,000 in equipment or more to operate your business does not necessarily factor into a higher profit percentage. The best thing to do is to compare business models. Find a few businesses that make sense and then explore them based on potential and not just on the cost of the franchise fee. If you are serious and interested in exploring the possibility of owning your own franchise, you should contact the franchise professional that sent you this video. Their information is located to the right of this video and their service is free.